guys, this is the last video on critical issues in business success or failure, looking at the impact of economic conditions. Got to remember, guys, we looked at the economy from as an external influence of business, and so keep it in mind that this is something that a business can't necessarily control, whereas the other ones we have looked at, the business definitely has some degree of control over, or is definitely in a better position to manage it. The economy, though, is a difficult beast to try and contain. Obviously, you've got to look for opportunities and deal with any threats. But in terms of the economy, there is definitely some situations where a business is likely to succeed or potentially fail due to conditions beyond their control. You might remember this economic or business cycle back in topic 1, the nature of business, and we looked at 4 different areas within the economic cycle and the key features of each of those. And if you take a minute to look at each of those, so the recovery, recession, peaks and troughs, each of those have different features that are going to mean a business will either have success or failure. And I mean, this is a fairly broad brushstroke. We did look at a situation where, you know, the reject shop and other discount stores can do well during times of recessions or troughs. But generally speaking, for most small businesses, they need to rely on recovery periods or peaks to be able to do well in business. Because we all know that if you looked at the cycle, if there's higher weight, if you look at either recovery or peaks where there's wages increasing, then consumer sentiment and consumer spending is going to increase, and that obviously means more sales. And so that means that, you know, if there's more sales, you might employ some more people, you're going to produce more, and the economy is looking a lot better. In a recession, where we have, obviously, people can lose their jobs, they don't feel so confident, and so they might not be buying things. Pretty simple equation, really. So really, in terms of understanding whether a business will be successful or not, out of this particular topic, it's important to just remember that the economy is critical to business success or failure. I guess it's important for a business to be aware of what the economy is doing. And look, I guess one of the things that any business should be looking at is something called the Consumer Sentiment Index. Now, I'm just going to flick over, bear with me, to this document. I've actually placed this on our class page so you can have a read of it. But this is an excellent example of how a business can track the economy and the impact that's going to have on potential sales. And so the Consumer Sentiment Index basically is just some sort of index that a lot of market researchers put together to get an indication of whether people are happy to spend or not. And you know, something positive that has come out of the federal budget is that the Consumer Sentiment Index has risen by 6.4% over the last month, which means, you know, that's good news for business. So it means more businesses will succeed, which sounds pretty obvious, but that's true. You can look at the index there over the last few years, going up and down across May, and I guess you can see that it changes all the time. So it really does depend on a whole bunch of factors. You know, your mum and dad are going to have more confidence in going buying luxury goods or whatnot, depending on what the economy is doing. And businesses need to be aware of what factors are going to influence that. So guys, have a read of that bulletin from the Westpac Consumer Sentiment, and make sure you know that economic and business cycle back to front to understand how the economy influences business success or failure. That is the end of chunk 4. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in class.